So this video is going to be a little bit different. So instead of my usual other videos, I'm going to be making different videos in which I'm going to be talking about certain episodes of anime that happened within the week that I think need to be highlighted or need to be discussed. But the difference is between my other videos is that I'm just going to try and keep it down to 5 minutes every single time, and they'll just be solely fixated on one episode, not the entire anime. Well, let's just get to it. Now, to begin this discussion, we're going to be talking about episode 19 of Dandadan, or well, season 2, episode 7. And after watching this episode, I realized just how dark this anime is sometimes, but how subtle it is about certain things. Because within this episode, without spoiling too much, Momo gets a job, and the problem with this job is that she has to leave work really late. And this is sort of a thing that becomes a bit dangerous, because as she's leaving work, we start to notice that she's a little uncomfortable. The thing about this that's highlighted is that she kind of actually talked to Okarun really early in the day and told him to not wait for her. But at the same time, even though she's leaving work at night and she has superpowers, she's still a little bit uncomfortable about going home alone. But luckily for her, Okarun decides to arrive and is able to walk home with her, which is cool. Take note of that. But later onwards, when they get back home, they kind of go through an experience in which they have an interaction with Evil Eye, and it's not that good. In fact, by the end of this entire experience, a lot of the house is split on what's happening, but the general idea is that everyone wants to get stronger, but also they're starting to face the dark reality of who Evil Eye is, because within that interaction that happened at home, Evil Eye does something extremely invasive that for a lot of people would be extremely traumatizing, and if Momo wasn't able to easily adapt, that situation could have went really badly considering what's happening. And that is the entire premise of what happens within this episode without spoiling too much. And that leaves us with a lot to discuss in terms of this entire episode. Now, the first thing that I really noted within this episode is just the way that Evil Eye approaches Momo. A part of me really wanted to know why Evil Eye approaches Momo in that way. It's very intrusive, but also it's almost like Evil Eye is trying to embarrass Momo or break her. And a part of me does wonder, does the relationship that Evil Eye has with Momo kind of stem from a feeling that Gigi has? Because it's pretty clear that prior to this season, Gigi had very strong feelings towards Momo. Now I do wonder if Evil Eye is sort of capitalizing on this feeling and trying to break Gigi in a sense. I'm not really sure, but I do wonder, where did Evil Eye learn about this sort of approach? Because as far as we know, Evil Eye lost their life at a very young stage in their life, so it's kind of weird to me that it would know that sort of approach, but it has been watching people for a long time, so that's a possibility. But also another thing that I noted is that within this entire season overall, we really are starting to understand the acceptance of spirits, because most of the spirits that we've met kind of have a redeemable trait, but with Evil Eye, we're really being tested towards that approach, and you see it within this episode, because a lot of people are starting to wonder about the reality of Evil Eye. On one side, people want to be hopeful that Evil Eye maybe has a redeemable trait, but on the other side, it just seems like Evil Eye is just pure evil and there's nothing to be redeemed from such a spirit. And it really becomes a point of conflict, because this is a decision that everyone has to bear because Gigi has made it. And it does make you wonder if Gigi is being manipulated. Should people really care that much about what Gigi has decided, even if it costs everyone else? I'm not really sure, but it does seem to be having an effect on everyone, because by the end of the episode, a lot of the characters want to become stronger because Evil Eye is a really powerful spirit. So you're starting to see that a lot of people have to make adjustments and decisions based on the fact that Gigi has made a choice to spare Evil Eye. And I found that to be very, well, conflicting, but also very dark within the episode. And lastly, one thing that I've kind of noted, which is just, I guess, a more lighter note about the entire episode, is all of the cool highlights that they did towards certain anime. We got a little bit of a JoJo reference. We saw, I think, a boxing manga, but also on the other side, me specifically, I do wonder, where does Okarun come from? Because he just lives somewhere else and seems to not really have parents. And I've noted on the internet that no one knows if he has actual parents, if they're good, if they're bad. No one knows. But it's just weird to me that we kind of just accepted that Okarun moved into a new house, and that's pretty much it. But overall with this episode, it was like, well, the episode title, it was a very gloomy sort of episode. That's pretty much all I have to say about this episode.